Tonight on Wave News, new details in the shooting that rocked southern Indiana. We'll have what police know about the people responsible and the victims. One of them, an 18-year-old from Corydon who was killed in the shooting. We'll have how his community is remembering him and moving ahead. And a woman in Oldham County is dead after a motorcycle crash. You'll hear from some of the people who knew her best.
This is a Wave breaking news alert.
You're watching Wave News at 6. I'm Noelle Friel. Tonight, communities across southern Indiana are in mourning after a shooting near the Harvest Homecoming Festival, a beloved fall tradition that brings thousands to the area every year. A Corydon teen was killed in the shooting, 2 others were hurt, and at least 2 suspects are still on the loose. Now we're learning more about what exactly happened. It all started just before 10 last night when someone started shooting near State Street and Black Street near the Harvest Homecoming rides. Today, New Albany police said it started as a fight between 2 groups. They say after the shooting, the people involved ran away. 18-year-old Bryce Gerlach died at the scene. A 22-year-old man and a 45-year-old woman were also shot. We don't know what condition they are in at this time. Police say all the people that were shot were not a part of the fight that led up to the shooting. The chief talked about what a shock this came as.
We will normally get through these events without so much as arresting anybody. We have a very pleasant crowd. Unfortunately, during this particular event, we had, individuals who decided that they were to come down and do what they did.
Police believe there were at least 2 shooters, but haven't arrested or named them yet. If you know anything that could help find them, call the New Albany Police Department. Bryce Gerlach was a senior at Corydon Central High School. Tonight, the Harrison County community is coming together to grieve his loss. That's where we find Wave News reporter Alina Noakes with more on how the community is processing his death.
Noelle, just within the last few minutes, we've seen a huge outpouring from this community here at Corydon Central High School. Just behind me, a group from the football team has gathered at what is a memorial that's been set up at Bryce Gerlach's parking spot. There's flowers there, as well as where some students and his friends have marked his memory on the sidewalk there. Again, that's where Bryce would come here every day and park, and that group is his football team. Bryce Gerlach was a senior here at Corydon Central High School and a multi-sport athlete. You can see him here in this matchup between Corydon Central and Providence from just this past Friday, where he was a defensive back for the team. Just a few weeks ago, Gerlach was honored at another game for having stepped in and helped an official involved in a collision on the field during a play. Friends would tell you that's exactly the kind of person he is. Clearly a very well-loved member of his team and of his school. And a memorial at the football field is already set up in his honor. The hashtag LLB standing for Live Like Bryce. And just across the road, the parking lot is already filling up here at the high school. That's because the gym here at Corydon Central High School is now open to students, parents, and community members who want to come together and grieve. Counselors will be there for anybody who wants to talk. First Capital Christian Church also opened its doors at 6 p.m. for support. Then at 7 p.m. there is going to be a vigil nearby at the Harrison County Fairgrounds to honor Bryce Gerlach's memory. And that's not too far down the road from here at the high school, maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. Again, that vigil does start at 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to have more from that vigil coming up tonight on Wave News at 11. Reporting from Corydon, Indiana, Lena Noakes, Wave News.
Just so sad to see. Okay, Alina, thank you. Organizers of Harvest Homecoming canceled all events today, which would have been the last day of the festival. We heard from some of the vendors who were there when the shooting happened. Jenny Wiglub and Marie Deal were there with their nonprofit called The Mustard Seed, which is a thrift store that benefits organizations who support survivors of childhood sexual abuse. They were packing up for the night when they heard the shots and quickly realized it was gunfire. They say they feel fortunate to have made it out safely and were heartbroken to learn someone so young had been killed in such a senseless act of violence.
I can't imagine. I can't fathom that mother or father or whoever sent their child to Harvest thinking that they were going to come home later on that night, right, and that they didn't. I think there's where the uneasiness comes in, because you just don't know anymore when you come to an event what's going to happen.
Other small businesses in the area are looking to bring the community together after the tragedy last night. Jackson, New Albany hosted the Island Noodles pop-up this afternoon, giving all proceeds from their sales to Bryce Gerlach's family. The sales have just wrapped up for the night. You'll hear more from the business later tonight on Wave News at 11. For the first time, we're also hearing from New Albany Mayor Jeff Gahan on the shooting. In a statement, Mayor Gahan offers his condolences to Bryce Gerlach's family and thanked all the first responders, festival volunteers, and everyone else who helped. He went on to say this type of gun violence is all too common across the United States. He called it heartbreaking and tragic, adding, quote, "Our country must find a way to come together to stop this type of violence." This is a developing story, so make sure you download the Wave News app or go to wave3.com for all the latest details. We'll have more on how people from Corydon and New Albany are coming together in the wake of the violence coming up on Wave News at 11.